everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over something pretty radical that happened in the Perfect Dark community today, or yesterday at this point. A new trailer has come out for the new Perfect Dark game, and trust me, I have a lot to say about it. I'm going to be doing something of an analysis first, so stay with me. Keep in mind, obviously everything I say here is totally 100% my opinion, and it's absolutely okay to feel differently about the game. I'm just giving my perspective. If you've already watched the trailer and you don't care to hear my analysis, that's fine, here's the timestamp.
Your target is in possession of a radioactive device. Stop Carrington's attack at all costs. Good luck, Agent.
The trailer cuts open with a clip of Joanna gliding out of an airplane in head-to-toe gear. We get to learn that Carrington is not on our side this time. Afterwards, Joanna lands on a roof of a building overran by genetically modified plants and takes off her helmet, revealing the new face in the series.
Where it's a pleasant 23 degrees all day, every day.
We get to see the general landscape, and it seems like this has been essentially curated for the humans to inhabit, like the Lorax.
Forces are also tracking his whereabouts. You need to find him before they do.
I'll have to improvise.
We also get to see some pretty important and interesting stuff, like a few of the gameplay mechanics, gadgets, and some guns. We can tell by the symbols on Joanna's gadgets that she's working for evil mega corporation Datadyne. Remember, I will get into my feelings about this all later.
Our intel places Carrington on the second floor.
We see a lot of jumping, sliding, and parkour, similar to Mirror's Edge.
From the life we think we know, analyze.
Alright, now, this part's important. We're looking at a big chunk of context clues on the screen for right now. For one, I see a mention of Mantis Core, in this case Core Mantis, which is a mega corporation rivaling Datadyne mentioned in the book Initial Vector. Additionally, there's a mention of a new corporation, Eden Tech. And from the context, we can infer that this game is located in the Middle East somewhere. On top of everything, there are also various images of people and some sticky notes I can't quite make out.
Agent Stark, it's a pleasure to meet you.
It seems that we're in Carrington's office, implying to me that this is his research. If I had to take a guess, he's probably planning to sabotage one of these meetings mentioned here in the newspapers. We hear a voice. "I could use someone with your skills," it says, in an American man, or maybe Canadian. Jonathan? Well, a girl can dream.
I had to lose everything before I could see. What this world was really hiding.
At the end of the trailer, Joanna says some pretty profound words, some that can be interpreted in many ways. Finally, Joanna has a Cyberpunk 2077 style glitch out, and we see a glimpse into maybe what she's talking about when she says losing everything. And that's the end of the trailer. I know all of you are anxiously sitting at the end of your seat, waiting for me to express my opinion on the matter, so here we go. I want to clarify that I have really high and specific standards for Perfect Dark, and trust me, what we're seeing here is super promising, and way better than the information that we had before, which is that it was essentially not happening. This is, all things considered, absolutely amazing, but I am going to maybe unfairly rip into it a little bit. Starting off with one of my biggest gripes in the game, it's Joanna herself. I do really like the two-toned hair implemented. I think that it's a great middle ground between the short hair that we see in classic Perfect Dark and the long hair that we see in Zero. I also really like the voice, it's the same thing there, kind of a middle ground. She has an accent that's British but not too British, and it's very feminine but also super kick-ass. I'm not a huge fan of the face. I know that it's kind of unrealistic for Joanna to be putting on makeup between matches and between her missions, but I would have really appreciated the detail, especially considering Joanna really knows how to weaponize her looks. I suspected that it would be more realistic than stylized, considering that it is a modern FPS game and we don't really do like super stylized first-person shooters anymore. I do really like the location. It is super Perfect Dark. It's not too PDZ and it's also not too N64-ish either. It's kind of like a good blend between them and very modern as well. It's super realistic in the best way possible. I can totally imagine like a real-life scenario in this environment. I also really like the showcase of all the different weapons and gadgets and gameplay. I do really like the gadgets. They are obviously Datadyne. but the design reminds me a lot of Zero, especially the data thief. I'm super excited about the Mirror's Edge style kind of like parkour thing we have going on. Finally, a perfect dark game where you can jump. Oh, and the music? Awesome. Alright, time to hear my biggest gripe about the trailer. I'm not a huge fan in general of the story. For one, we seem to be working with Datadyne, which kind of goes against Joanna's morals in general. We know that Joanna absolutely despises Datadyne, considering that they killed her father in cold blood for no apparent reason other than spite. In the book Initial Vector, we get to hear more about Joanna's feelings on Jack's death and how painful it was to be without him. And it was pretty crippling for her. She lost everything, and it was the reason that she decided to join the Carrington Institute to fight Datadyne. So for Joanna to be working with Datadyne, that's a little bit suspicious to me. It might be a bait and switch though. She could be working for Datadyne as sort of like an undercover thing, and we don't know that quite yet, so here's hoping. I have seen some discourse online about the male voice being potentially Carrington, and that Scottish accent being missing, but I'm here to provide you a little bit of hope. In the book Initial Vector, which this game takes heavy inspiration from, we see Jonathan going to Ben Abel's door and recruiting him for the Carrington Institute. So this could be Jonathan talking, and he is Canadian American, I guess. Yeah, kind of accent. But it could also be a third party, maybe even a villain, siding against both Datadyne and Carrington, trying to recruit Joanna for their team. Who knows? Maybe even, depending on when this game takes place, because we're not sure yet, it could maybe be someone working with Cassandra de Verez? I think that's how you pronounce it. Someone corrected my pronunciation on it in the last video, and I just can't remember. What seems to be clear is Carrington has gone rogue. Maybe. Which is not very Daniel Carrington-esque. Well guys, it's a mixed bag for me. I'm still very hopeful for sure, and this trailer has been super exciting for me to watch. I'm glad that the development of this game is going quite well, and we got to see some in-game footage for once. Very promising. Now I just have to wait for my email from the initiative. Well, if you liked this video, do all those YouTuber things, and if you want to be super extra generous, send me $1 or $2 in the link in the description below. Remember everyone, have a perfectly dark day.